I'm here with the super talented Joseph Michael of Witherfall to talk about their upcoming new record, Sounds of the Forgotten, out May 31st on Deathwave Records. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. How's things going?
It's going pretty good. Busy as usual. I think the last time I saw you was at Prague Power.
It was a Brock Power. We had a great time at Brock Power, and I think that's what I heard the first snippets of this new record. You shared with me a few of the tracks.
I did. I also shared you the old edit of the Insidious video.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. But you shared enough with me to kind of, get me really hyped and interested about what this record was going to be like. But I must say, it did not prepare me for what was in store in a good way.
It's a very eclectic work. I think it's most of our records are very diverse, but I think this one kind of widens that spectrum a little bit.
Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting dynamics about the record. That's one of them. The track listing and with those interludes that you guys created, or I'm calling them interludes for a lack of a better term. That was really interesting as well. It's an album that if you, as a music listener, if you told me that, hey, you're gonna listen to an album like this, I would say before even pressing play, I'm gonna hate it because it doesn't have the prototypical design and feel that I really look forward to. But somehow you guys made it work, and I fucking love this album. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know what magic, what sorcery you guys have going on with this record.
Jesus Christ, man, it's about 10,000 hours and about 10,000 gallons of wine is what it is.
It's by far the best album you guys have ever done. I have no doubts about that in my mind. It's going to be in the top 10 of my favorite albums of the year. The question remains on which spot of that top 10 it will end
ah,
up. We still have quite a few months to go in the year, but it deserves to be in everybody's top 10 albums of the year. It deserves to be talked about. It deserves to be listened to. Why have you guys been holding back on all of us and waited until now to release an album like this?
I think you had alluded to something like that in a post, but the thing is that we always write uh, stuff, for the time that we're in. So obviously, like Prelude to Sorrow it had a very specific purpose. Us writing about Adam, and, Curse of Autumn. It's not my favorite record. It's towards the bottom of the list, even though I love some of the songs on that record. But this one was very focused and coherent, like almost the entire way through. I mean, Jake and I really like had a vibe going on this record. We wrote a good portion of it at his place down in Florida, and it just had that murky, foggy, like gloom to it. Even the ballads are a bit gloomy. Like they're very morose. Um, it just this really benefited from us really like having nothing else to do. No, that's seriously though. Like Jake obviously is no longer in Iced Earth, or Demons and Wizards. Sanctuary's been on hiatus since Lenny's daughter passed away. Like all we had to do was write music, and then the making of the record itself was really immersive. Like we hooked up on January 1st, flew Zeus out to LA. We tracked with Marco for like a week in LA, and then we took a couple of weeks off, and then did some drum editing, and then we flew to New York and did like 6 weeks in my hometown in Utica in this fucking crazy church, and then some editing time, and then I went to Zeus's in Massachusetts for another like 4 or 5 weeks to do vocals and polish up some keyboards and whatever. I think the mixing, mastering was another 3 weeks. So it was like a 6-month production cycle. And that doesn't even include all the music videos.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
a
we
lot.
spent a lot of yeah, we spent a lot of time, a lot of our liver capacity, making this record. And one thing too, this record sequence, I know it seems so out in left field, but it works so well in Vinyl. In fact, everything was like auditioned right here. This goes in that if I could turn this camera around, which you can't, you would see like the board in my studio and everything. Like this record player is hooked up to my like professional studios. I heard everything. Like, and I love the way the first song goes in the second one. I knew it would throw people. I knew that like either people would love that transition or hate it. Uh, our friend Don Adams, who you met at Prague Power, was responsible for suggesting that. Actually, it's such an '80s thing. It's like,
You know what? You're reading my mind. I already record my review. All right. So it's not like our conversation is going to impact what I'm going to say about the album because I already
uh,
recorded. I said exactly the same thing. I said that this album reminded me like of old like Queen, Iron Maiden, bands like that had really eclectic records that
no,
you couldn't really connect the songs together. But when you sit down to listen to their albums, you don't feel that way. You don't feel like there's a complete disconnect between the songs. You feel like even King Diamond to in certain records, there's not a lot of cohesiveness. Like when I look at Fatal Portrait, that album doesn't have a lot of cohesiveness, but you can't really shut it down. Like once you press play, you're going, you're off.
I think we have a lot in common with King Diamond, not because of the vocal styles or anything. But if you took like Conspiracy and just picked any of the songs, like they almost don't really. It's like why does it do this at the end? Why does it do that? You know, like. But then if you listen to the whole thing all the way through, you're like, that's why that section is there in that song, because the way it leads you into the next song. Like, and as far as like the '80s thing, like Iron Maiden, like Children of the Dam, I think is the second song on Number the Beast, isn't it? I
Mhm.
think it is. So like we were thinking like, man, like that big ballad with like slamming heavy then into like this soft fucking, intro to a ballad is such an '80s like
It
Maiden,
is
Scorpions,
Scorpions.
Skid Row, like I love stuff like that because you know you're like your brain is thinking, okay, oh here we go, and then there's a breath, and you're like, what
That's
the
exactly what happened. I pressed play. The album starts off to the races, and
yeah.
then the next track is a ballad. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? Like, and
Not
then
only that,
and then you
yeah,
have an interlude, and then you have another like bombastic song, and then you have another ballad. It's like shit. Like stop pulling me in all these different directions. But I think that's what makes the album experience really work because you just don't know where you're gonna go next.
we've never written anything like to provoke any sort of reaction, but that high note at the beginning of the record was on purpose, like because I was so sick of like some of the labels that get put on us, and I'm like, I'm just gonna do like the most metal thing you could possibly do right at the beginning of this record, like fuck all these people, like I'm tired of like you should see a couple of the reviews for this record is like this person did not even listen to the record, like I absolutely know for certain these are like big publications and it got a good
And
score, and I'm like, what, you didn't listen to it, like you didn't.
this kind of takes me to my next question. I mean, you guys, walked away from Century Media. I don't want to get into the details of that. It's not my business, to be honest. But does it make life a little bit easier not having perhaps like a label like that behind you guys? Is this like a blessing in disguise?
I mean, there are multiple boxes we can talk about, like for that. Obviously, my schedule is way more chaotic because now not only am I a vocalist and a producer and a songwriter, what now I have to be the publicist. At least here in the United States, we have a great publicist overseas, but and I run the label and do all the back end work, and like it's a 10-hour a day job. The thing is that it's the stress levels aren't really any higher because we would always have to go back and check and make sure some of those jobs were being done right when we had the label. I mean, they screwed up so much stuff, like you have no idea. Like just take a look at some of the lyric videos on the last record. be like, oh, like I see. Like, you know, I mean, we charted in the top Hot 100 Billboard for Curse Bottom. Like it was like number 63, and like Miley Cyrus was like number 62. But because the label didn't do their job properly, like the album cover was missing. So it just had a question mark, Witherfall, Curse Bottom. So like stuff like that, they don't really care. We're just another like revenue stream in their little business model. Like they don't really give a shit, you know, if the band does well, or if it looks bad, it doesn't look bad on them, you know. So doing it this way, you know, we have 100% accountability and 100% control. And if something goes wrong, it's fucking probably my fault, or somebody else gets fired. You know, like I can't fire myself, but yeah, you know, labels. If you have no money, and you're a young band, and you know, maybe you want a label, but for 80% of our revenue, like they didn't offer us enough to take that deal. Like the money, the deal was pretty good that they offered us to stay, but it's like it's still a loan, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's the point? Just put in
Yeah.
the money ourselves and do the work and reap the benefits.
Yeah, that way everything stays in house, but also all the money stays in house.
Mm-hmm. I will say there are a few things where you can tell like that whole payola system is still in place, like with the Spotify playlists. Like we have got zero editorial support whatsoever. But then you'll see like, you know, really tiny bands getting every editorial playlist in their genre. It's like, oh, okay, I see.
And the Forgotten, Sounds of the Forgotten, is Witherfall, are you guys the Forgotten?
No, no. The various some of the elements of this art form, like songwriting, music production, like those are the forgotten things, you know, like songwriting, like singing, uh, like real instruments, like the recording process being what it literally is supposed to mean. Like a record is supposed to be a literal record of a time and a place and a performance. And now it's this manufactured mess of digital sounds and recreations of, you know, approximations of things that didn't actually occur in the real world, which kind of makes it not a record. You know what I mean? Like all you're doing is kind of you're re-indexing sounds that are already in a library, so it's not really a record of anything. Like a lot of recordings. I mean, you can call me an old man, I guess, like, but I like records to be like an emblem of where the artist is, and like I want to hear the air in the room of you know, like the space you're in, instead of just like here's me on a laptop, I'm gonna place this sample on every fucking eighth note in the fucking kick drum, and oh, like I don't, oh, we didn't really hit that harmony. We'll just move all these harmonies up and then we'll just mask them. Like you won't even know. Like stupid. That's the forgotten. The art of this. The art of this is totally like when I listen to liquid metal, I'm like, well, this all sounds like it came out of the same factory. Like, and I'm not even gonna get into the harsh vocal thing, because I mean, there's some guys that and girls that I'm like, okay, like they're singular, some of them, but a lot of it, man, it's just this could be every song in the last 3 hours on this radio station could be on the same fucking record. Like, I think it's hurting. It's hurting the genre itself, because you know when you just walk down the street or like walk around in a mall, like you know there's like teenage kids, and if you just went around with a mic, you should do this. Like, what to you? What is metal music? Like in like 1988, like they could sing songs that, like, you know what I mean? It was part of the culture. Now it's either like someone that's just into the aesthetic of it and the aggressiveness of it, or they're they have no clue, like, and they hate it because they assume that it's all about the harsh vocals where you can't sing any of the songs. Like, and I think it's really hurting the industry, honestly. I'll probably get shit for it for saying that,
Yeah,
but
I was at a I was at Electric Callboy show a couple of days ago. Uh, by the time this comes out, it's been a couple of weeks ago. But anyways, I was at Electric Callboy show and I was talking to a guy from a band, like a local band here in Toronto, young guy. And I
Mhm.
mentioned to him that I had been at the same venue a week earlier to see Blind Guardian, and they looked at me and they said, "Who's that?"
Yeah, I mean
I
that's
was
an
like,
old band.
and I was like, "Wow, you're in a metal band and you don't know who Blind Guardian is?" I felt like, am I in a parallel universe happening here right now? Like, what's going on here?
You know, just because you're in a band doesn't mean you're in the industry.
That's true. Or that you're like know like the origins of genres or bands that paved the way to where you are right now. That is true too.
I mean, come on, like you don't think like uh like Nikki Sixx, he didn't know who Cannibal Corpse was in the '90s. Like, come on, like I think there's just like willful ignorance now. Everything's at the touch of your fingers, like on a keyboard or on your phone. It's right there. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's pretty hard to be ignorant now. It's willful.
Yeah. It's really hard not to know who somebody or who something is when you have so much information available to you and so easy to find. When I was growing up, it wasn't like that. Like we were trading tapes, we were looking at like videos on Headbangers Ball, discovering music through an artist's T-shirt that he would wear in an interview, things like that. We definitely live in a different time, and I think maybe one of the reasons I really enjoy this record, two reasons I think I really enjoy this record. One is that it has an old vibe to it, and I felt like that gave it a more organic feel and experience. And the other two, compared to some of your previous records, and you might correct me on this one, but this album felt a lot more straightforward. It didn't feel like too convoluted. It feels like it's more like we have an idea of what we want out of this song and we're just going to go for it instead of maybe embellishing it a little bit. Do you see that?
No, I think we just got better at masking some of the madness that's in there. You know what I mean? Like the tangents that some of the older material would go on, where we just weren't as good at making it work in this style. Like if you listen to classical music, especially some of the more out there composers like a Bartok or something, like stuff is like it slaps you in the face when it changes. Like you're like, what the fuck just happened here? Right? Like, and I think a lot of our stuff like can seem like that. And I think people expecting to hear rock music or metal music, when they hear that, they're like, oh, that doesn't really work. Well, it's like we're not trying to make rock music or metal music. We're just writing music. And like we don't really we don't really care that you got taken or jolted out of the song so much as this is the composition that we wanted to write. But I think, to your point, that that we Jake and I are getting much better at making this work within the you know within the paradigm that we're in. That this is a drum and guitar rock band in its core, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
It's
it's
not.
it's
Yeah.
it's it's more. It's I found the album a little bit easier to digest. It's not like it doesn't have the textures of the past; they're still there, but it felt more streamlined so that you were able to digest those textures a little bit easily. Like for a guy like me, like I'm not a super into progressive or into like super complicated metal compositions. While I enjoyed the previous records, sometimes you felt really spent at the end of an album because it demanded a lot out of me. For somebody who doesn't go to the gym, I felt like I got a workout out of it. This record, dude, I think in the day that I received the promo, I honestly, in 2 days, I ran over the promo so much that all the files now are blocked from streaming because I cannot play them anymore. Because I think there's a counter on how many times I can play the files. So in 2 days, I ran it over and I wasn't able to listen to it anymore because that's how much I played it. So it definitely had a little bit of a more approachable feel, at least for me.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I would say that's true. It's definitely my favorite collection of songs that we've written. Um, yeah, I would love if Witherfall like kept going in this type of direction, you know. And to be fair, like having the band gel a little bit more. Like Anthony, we've been with Anthony for like 10 years. So when he comes in, he knows exactly what we want, what we're looking for. You know, we hang out more. You know, we know each other better. Jerry is like a really, really good musician and singer. And, you know, like before it was me doing all the keyboards, and now I have another person that can do things that I can't do, that I can work with. Or if I'm like, here's like this melody line, do like what a piano player would do, like on this, like, but incorporate that melody line. And we throw him in front of a fucking Bosendorfer and he does it, and it's you know, it's a real fucking Bosendorfer. It's $110,000, 10,000 pound fucking, you know, work of art that had to get airlifted into the fucking place. You know, like stuff like that, you know, really makes a difference. A lot of those touches.
When you release a lot of singles coming up to an album release, what is the thought process behind it? Because some people could say that's a great thing, some people might say that that's a bad thing because it takes away from the experience of listening to a record and discovering songs. What are your views on that?
My view is, if you don't want to listen to the record till it's all out, don't listen to the record till it's all out. I don't know why anyone would even have an opinion on it. Like, are you envious that other people can enjoy the singles before you want to listen to the whole record all the way through? I mean, how does it affect you? You know what I mean? It's like people that like bitch about a movie they haven't seen. It's like, what do you care? Like, what do you care? You know, like yeah, we've encountered, especially in some of the European markets, where like they do have a point because they will go and buy the CD, and now they're tempted to listen to all of the singles, and they don't want to. But the reason we did it is we've had consistent hyping of the record for the past 6 months. The streaming numbers are better already than any of other records. I mean, look at our YouTube channel. Like just that alone, like we have more views on Ceremony of Fire video than on almost all of our other fucking videos in the last record. Like, and that was 3 years ago. Like, that's what it works for. It just continuously kicks those algorithms into motion. It's working really well. And you know, not everything is an artistic choice. Like if we if we were really gung ho and confident, we would do what Taylor Swift did with 1989 and say fuck streaming, and we're just going to put it out on CD and vinyl for the first year. And that would be the artistic choice. But we don't have a fan base yet that would make how much money our records cost to make. Yeah, we couldn't risk that. So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other, yeah, I mean, we have to find a way. Like I said, we don't get favors from the algorithms. We have so many different genres in our palette that if we were just a Viking gnome fucking female fronted power metal band, like we, nice shirt, we get fucking, we would get all the female fronted power metal playlists, like, but we're like not enough of anything to get any of those playlists. You know, we get no love when it comes to the algorithm. So this was a way of trying to, you know, tip the scales back a little bit.
Beat the system.
Well, you can't beat the system. The system isn't even beating the system. Spotify lost how much money last year?
Yeah, but I think they'll be all right.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, no, that's going away. Absolutely. Their business model is not sustainable unless they like merge with another media outlet, like movies or something. It's not sustainable.
Wow, you really think Spotify is the days
Absolutely
are
not.
numbered?
None of them are sustainable.
So what do you foresee as a sustainable future for? So what is there for bands and for people who I don't have Spotify personally. I don't have it. I don't like it.
I do, and I like it for certain things. But I mean, we're not going to sit here and crunch numbers, but I do look at the numbers, and there's no way for that to be sustainable. I mean, there are no new young bands that are really making any money from their music whatsoever with this paradigm, and the only way for them for it to be profitable would be for the rates to come up, for the royalty rates, but that's not going to happen. I mean, all the labels have a stranglehold over what revenue is there. And Spotify's still not profitable, which means they're either going to have to raise their rates, which they're going to see. You already see they're not doing. They're actually bundling more stuff in with it. So in effect, lowering the rates. They're being sued right now by the MLC for trying to artificially reduce the mechanical royalties. They're going to lose that battle. So their costs are just going to keep going up, and they're people don't mind paying for a physical CD. Like, not everyone will, and a lot of people won't have their CDs bought. Like, a lot of these bands that have 1 million streams because they're on playlists, those aren't fucking fans. Those are people that heard your song because it's on a playlist and they got it for free. Try to sell them a CD. That stuff's going to go away. And people are going to be willing to spend $10 for a CD. And those bands that can sell those CDs, they can be profitable. But fans are not going to want to see their fucking Spotify subscription go to $50 for untangible things, right? That's the thing people forget. They're like, oh, you get all this music, but it's not music. It's phantom. It's fucking, it doesn't exist, right? Like, it's just access. They don't see it like they have 100 billion fucking songs. They see it as they have access to log into a thing. It's not sustainable. Nobody's making money.
Yeah, I mean, actually, even the video games that people buy these days, you're not really buying the video game. You're buying the right to play the video game, but you actually don't own the video game unless you actually go to the store and buy the video game. That's a different story. But if you're buying it online, you're not buying it. It's tricky because it makes you believe that you are buying it, but you're not.
Yeah.
You're just kind of like you're buying the right to play it. That's really what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the people that are going to win are going to be the ones that can leverage these audiences into actual, fans that are on their mailing list that they can sell shirts and CDs to and posters and get them to go out to shows. But the streaming thing's going to go away. It's not.
And what about the ecosystem outside of the streaming with the labels? Because you guys, we had this conversation earlier. You guys left Century Media. How do you see the role of the labels going forward? Because I also see that as a little bit of a dying dinosaur, if you will.
I don't want to be crass, but most musicians don't know anything about business. So then the labels aren't going to go away. There's always going to be labels. There's always going to be musicians that just want to, do the whole lottery ticket thing where they don't have to do anything. They don't have to think about the business. They get money, they record a record, see if it hits. Like, that's it. Like, there's a billion fucking people out there that are, willing to operate in that system. Like, I can't. The percentage of business people that also are musicians, writers, creatives is very low, very low. The thing is, the labels used to be a good deal. Like, when Century Media was at its peak, like in the early 2000s, Nevermore era, like when deathcore was like a big thing. Like, you signed to Century Media, like, you were getting a decent advance. This is when they were selling a lot of CDs, and they were putting you out on all these package tours with all of their artists. So, like, you had like a platform to sell your brand, right? Like, and if you were good and it was marketed right, like, you had a shot. You don't do that anymore. I mean, we signed with Century Media thinking that we were going to get, like, placed out on the road with, like, Arch Enemy or whoever, like, was on CM at the time, Lacuna Coil. No, they don't do that, and they don't even encourage those acts to do that. Like, the benefits package for signing a record deal right now are really low.
Wow. And as we know, the bands still need to go on tours so that they can sell merch because That's probably where the majority of the revenue is coming from these days, and that's why now bands are charging $65 for a T-shirt and 150 for an autographed vinyl. But I don't think that is sustainable either.
The live show thing is weird because it's different for us because we have our guys are band members, but they're also, like we pay them. Okay. Like Anthony, he's a pro musician. He's working every day. So like to get him out on the road with us, we hire him. For most bands, you're losing money on these tours until you get to a certain level. And I mean, you could be. I'm not going to name names, but there are some bands that have been doing that touring circuit, like opening for decent sized bands, taking every offer that comes in, and they're still losing money 10 years, 15 years later. Like the key to the whole live show thing is like what Unleash the Archers did. I mean, I'm not going to put numbers in Brittany's mouth, but like I saw them like a while ago, and there was nobody there. Like I think when we first put out our record, I forgot what record they were on, but they were opening for a friend of ours band, and I was like nobody there. And then I saw them in Seattle like a couple years ago when everything came back from COVID. The place was sold out. Like more people were there for them than there were for Iced Earth Sanctuary in Seattle. And I was, damn, all right, that's what you need to do. Like you have to, you're losing money, and then your fees increase, and now you have better circumstances, and your fan base is more, and like of course you're going to sell merch every step up until like now you're not losing money when you go out on the road. And I know some people still have day jobs, and that's tough because you don't have that income when you're out on the road. But if you can take a band out on a tour for weeks at a time and break even or make money, like there it is. That's the key, because every step above that, now it's profitable. You can do it over and over and over again.
But how do you get there? Because that's the problem.
You lose a lot of money, and you lose band members that aren't willing to sacrifice or be uncomfortable or have shitty lives or sleep on fucking couches. I mean, there's a reason why this is a young man's game, because when you're 19, 20, you can, you quit your job, and when you come back from tour, you just sleep on somebody's couch, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, everybody did that in LA in like the late 90s. It's just how long can you sustain that for? How bad do you want it? People fall off. You see, you interview bands all the time. So like, how many have fallen off? Like, of all the people you've interviewed, how they don't exist anymore because they couldn't keep it up.
I see it all the time.
It's not easy. It's not easy. Then people have families. Their life trajectory changes. The art becomes, less. I wouldn't say important, but less. Like they're not going to die if it doesn't happen, right?
Mm-hmm. But it becomes almost more of a hobby.
Yeah, I mean that's never been the case for me. I'd rather fucking jump off a bridge than do something else.
Yeah, I think that's when I was watching Kevin Hart win the Mark Twain Award, and he said that he believes one of the reasons for his success is because he never gave himself plan B.
Yeah.
It was either this or nothing. So by not giving himself a plan B, you only have one option to succeed with the choices that you've made. And I think when you are in a band and you have, okay, plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, whatever the plans are, it takes your focus away from that first choice of just balls in. I'm putting all the chips in the middle and I'm fucking going for it. It's not an easy decision to make. I'm sure it's not an easy decision to make, but I think it's very hard to achieve success if you don't make that decision.
It is, and it's hard to be in a band because it's like, imagine you're in an aircraft and it takes two people to fucking steer the thing. And it's like, you're like, I don't have any other options. But then the second person that you need is there and they bail out because they have a parachute. And then you're sitting there fucked. Like, and that's what being in a band is like, because I mean, this is not like the era of Guns N' Roses where everybody's making phone calls and, hustling flyers and, selling drugs to buy gear. Like, this is literally every band that is successful is like one or two people that make it happen, and then everyone else is, you know, some other role.
I
Yeah.
I agree with you 100%. Now, you mentioned your vocals, mentioned that scream, you mentioned that scream there.
Yeah.
Dude, best vocal performance by you on anything that you've ever done is on this record. What changed, or what inspired you to the bar was here and you're like, okay, let me move the bar a few notches higher.
I mean, I'd like to think I'm always improving, and I mean, shit. Like when I met Jake, I couldn't sing any of this shit. You know, like I didn't even have like much of a high range when I joined White Wizard. Like I just they needed somebody, and I just kind of sat there for a month and figured it out. You know, like, and now it's like a staple of mine, like all the crazy acrobatic stuff. Um, no, I mean everything that I do is in service of the composition. Like I don't think like most singers, like how can I fit what I can do into this, right? Like I'm thinking I'm writing first and then going, okay, fuck, all right, how do I pull that off? And I think that's what like has made me able to grow pretty quickly over the years. Like, is that I'm constantly having new challenges because I'll create something that I can't do. Like, and then I'll have to figure out a way to do it. Like, okay, I have to get better at that. I want this type of sound here. So okay, I have to work on that, work that out. I mean, I'm a bit of a chameleon anyway, but like I think that elasticity has come from being a writer first and a vocalist second.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. And on that note, let me ask you this. When you look back at this record, was there a song on this album that pushed you to the limit?
No, no, I don't think so. No.
I'm impressed with that answer because I was expecting the answer to be yes, there was a song. Because I was like, fuck, how the fuck did he do this? Like, there's you your versatility on this record really comes across. I mean, there it almost it gave me a feeling like I already knew this, but it gave me the confirmation that I don't think there's anything that you cannot do, especially if you set your mind to it.
Yeah, well, it's the setting of the mind that's the tricky part. You know, getting rid of all that self doubt, man. I haven't had any of that in decades. Like that left a long time ago. Um, you know, and the funny thing about the voice, and every singer that comes on here, you should ask them this. But the things that most people that are listening think are hard are not the things that are hard. Like with Sanctuary, Battle Angels is the easiest song in the world to sing. I could sing Battle Angels 15 times. If we did nothing but Battle Angels the whole set for 30 days straight, like I would have the time of my life. Like easy. It's the songs that depending on the day have passages that sit in between your registers and in spots of your range where the resonances aren't quite what you need them to be. And as soon as that that little shift happens, that's when the mind starts going, oh my God, I don't have it, I don't have it. And that's when things get tough. But I mean, there are certain things that people think that I do that are difficult that for me are not difficult. I do them all day long. Like I can wake up in the morning and do them. It's not a thing. It's and then there are other things that you probably think are really simple and easy. That those are the ones that you actually have to like prepare for the day. Like, okay, I'm going to do that on this day. I'm going to do this type of voice. Yeah, it's weird.
I have to ask you about this song because it's hands down my favorite track on the record, Sounds of the Forgotten.
Ah,
I'm absolutely mesmerized, in love with this song. What inspired the track, not only musically but lyrically? Because I feel like the lyrics on that song, especially in the chorus, it resonates with me.
it's funny though. Originally, that was like an acoustic song, and then I took I took home some of the stuff Jake and I were working on, and I came up with that chorus. Like I played like just a scratch guitar, put the melody, hooked it to the verse, sent it to Jake, and he's like, yeah, okay. And then he started working out like some of the riffs for the next section. But that was the influence. I don't know if you can tell, but it's very Typo Negative influence. Like the whole intro guitar part over the chords with the organ, and then I'm not doing the baritone vocal so much, but the melody is very, very Peter Steele. Like I think that's the closest to like a rock song that we have on the record. It's very straightforward.
Very straightforward, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny that you picked that one. I really like that. Wait till you see the video.
It kind of, it had almost like an arena rock feel to it. You know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons I really gravitated to it. You don't hear many songs like this these days.
No, no, I think like that song, Where Do I Begin, are very like arena rock. Like there's a torch ballad, and then the big epic, huge chorus,
Yeah.
straight ahead. Like, yeah, yeah. I mean, this record has a lot of like that old '70s vibe to it to me. Like, obviously there weren't bands doing certain things that we were doing.
Yeah,
But
this one from the get-go, the moment I listened to it, the first time I was going through the record, when I got to that song, I went back to it, listened to it again, and then I continued the record. And then I kind of did that every single time I listen to the album. I get to that song, I play it twice, and then I go back and I listen to the rest of the record. It's just had that, I don't know, I just lyrically too, like the chorus, I thought lyrically, like I said, it resonated with me. And then when you have a song that has that sound to it, and then you can connect with the lyrics, and you can feel like, maybe the song was written for you. Like as a fan, as a listener, I think that's the ultimate. You wanna feel like somebody wrote something that you wish you had written.
yeah, well, I mean, the song is about all of us. It's about like you were asking what is forgotten, but it's the sounds of the forgotten is really like everything we do is metaphorical, and there's like a double entendre with sounds is a body of water, and we actually came up with that title while sitting on this dock behind Jake's house, and the moon was there just like the album cover. It's crazy. The album cover looks just like what we were looking at when we came up with that song title and became the album title, and it's like the masses line the outer banks of the river beneath the trees is literally what we were looking at. And I'm picturing like you're on this ship, right? Like this like ancient mythology, right? You're on this ship, and the ship is your life, and like the river, the waterway, the sound is your passage through life. And on the outer banks as you pass are like all the either the dead or forgotten people like are there left as you keep going down the river. And so I mean that's what the song is about, really. It's like just kind of reflecting on everything and everyone that you have to leave behind as you continue your journey, you know.
And on that note of leaving you behind, I have one last question for you, and that is the $1,000,000 question, which
Yeah.
is, when will I see you doing a show in Toronto, playing some shows? I know you guys had that tour with Moonspell that got canceled, but and I know that was a huge hit for you guys. But when are you guys putting some pedal to the metal and hitting the road?
Well, it's always tough for us in the States. Like the bands that you would think we would go out with always pick bands that sound like them. So we never get picked, like Blind Guardian, they took out Night Demon, which I mean
Night
I love.
Demon, yeah.
Yeah, I love those guys, but I'm like, Night Demon make more sense than us. Like doesn't for Blind Guardian, I don't know. Um we're playing in Mexico at a festival in September, Candelabrum, and then we're flying to Spain and doing a couple shows. and then we're headlining a festival in Germany. So that's just like a week-long run. Then we come back. Jake and I are going to work on music for the next record, and then we fly back to Spain, and we're going to be touring with Angra in Europe.
Wow.
Yeah, that was just announced, and I think we're going to end that with some headline shows in Germany and maybe the Netherlands. But no, nothing in the North America.
How is it easier for you guys to do those tours in Europe and not pull something off like that in North America?
Well, the thing is, they pay us more in Europe. Like our rates are pretty high up there. Uh, you know, like we chart here, but we sell a lot of records over Germany, Europe. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not the booking agent for Witherfall. I have too many hats as it is.
Dude,
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like this record is so good. I can think of like, I don't know, 100 bands that you guys could tour with. That would be such a good package together. Because your sound, you don't have an umbrella that cover. You guys are so mobile with what you do that you fit so well with so many different bands that I just find it. I mean, you guys tour with Sonata Arctica in Europe as well, so it's like you're forcing us fans here to have to go somewhere there to watch you guys play.
it's kind of like people forget that this business is about supply and demand. Like we turn down a lot of stuff because the price isn't right. Like so when that price is right, then we'll take the offers. Like, we're not like I said, we're not the sleep on the couch when you get home from tour band. Like, we all do this for a living, and we know how much money we invest in this band, and we know what it's worth. So we're not just gonna take some bullshit offer and open for a bigger band.
Well, for what it's worth, I just want to say this. For what it's worth, every single piece of merch you sent my way, it gets used and used and used. My son wore the Witherfall hoodie the whole time we were in Norway at Inferno. I know Inferno is not really like perhaps the Witherfall breeding ground, if you will, but he wears that hoodie everywhere he goes. I wear mine all the time. I whatever little we can do to bring awareness to the band, to get exposure for the band, we're always willing to do so, because we believe in you guys and we like what you guys are doing. When Sons of the Forgotten, when the music video hits, we'll definitely check it out on the channel. I guarantee that 1,000%, because it's my favorite song on the record. I'm dying to see what you guys did with the video, and I don't even need to see boobs. I don't even need to see boobs.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure.
Okay.
Like, I don't need any boobs in the video. I'll check out the video because we love you guys, and I just want you guys to do what you do and continue to do what you do.
I mean, boobs are nice.
No, I'm not. Listen, if there's boobs in the video, I'm happy. But if there's no boobs, I'm still happy.
I think Jake leaves his shirt open a little bit.
Oh, so there might be some nipple. There might be some.
There might be some nipple and double neck SGs for sure.
He does play normally with his shirt unbuttoned all the way down, so there's a high probability for nipple.
Oh my god!
I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take Jake's. I'll take Jake's.
Yeah, I got to release that director's cut of Insidious like a month after the record comes out, because it's maddening. That guy doesn't even talk to us anymore because we made him edit it. I mean, you saw it was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd be like, this is supposed to be the first video. Like, everyone's gonna be like, what happened to these guys? They've lost their fucking minds.
But that's what makes everything that you guys do so great. And dude, I had a blast seeing you at Prog Power, hanging out with you, talking to you, watching some bands, and talking about some of the bands that we're performing, which conversations will stay private between us. We had a few good laughs. So good times were had. And it was so much fun to see you there, and it's always so much fun to see you. And we need to see each other more often, and that's why I'm saying you have to. We have to put some positivity out there that this record will do for you guys what you need it to be done, and maybe those offers will come in for some North American tours.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We might just perpetually be in Europe.
Hey, whatever works. Europe, and I know you guys love Japan as well, so maybe you can
Yeah.
extend it to Japan. I know you guys have a huge following there as well.
You guys should go to Japan with us. That would be fun.
Oh fuck! Don't that that's my bucket list and my son's bucket list. Let's make it happen. You tell
You can
me
you can you guys can do like a mini doc and film the whole thing. That'd be fun.
that you know what you're doing. You're making my line of credit having to be used right now. I just finished paying my mortgage last week, so I'm mortgage free.
Nice,
So
nice.
I'm not even joking. If you guys plan on doing something there for a couple of days, hit us up. Let me know, because that would be something that would totally be down doing. Going
Yeah.
there, vlogging the whole experience of you guys in the shows, and doing some cool shit.
Oh yeah. It's too bad you weren't there for the last one. That was chaotic.
From the little snippets that you guys included in the music video, I think you guys had too much of a good time.
Yeah, some people didn't make it home. Sorry, Billy.
Yeah, I honestly, I could tell the vibes were good just by what you guys showed. I can only imagine what was not shown.
Yeah. Well, no one died.
It's like The Hangover, the Witherfall edition.
Oh Jesus, dude. Oh, I don't even want to get into it. Well, I'm gonna send you guys those shirts so you can wear them at black metal festivals.
He doesn't give a shit. He wore that hoodie the whole 4-day festival. That's the only hoodie he took with him on the trip. So he wore it the whole time. I wear mine all the time, even when I'm going to do in-person interviews. Actually, speaking of Blind Guardian, I was wearing mine when I interviewed Hansi.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm wearing mine with you can see the big W in the front. I wore it when I interviewed Nora of Battle Beast when they were in town. So like I try to wear it when I know that I'm doing interviews that are going to get a lot of views, that's going to get a lot of hits. So that way you have your W right there up front
It's like the
for
bat
extra
signal.
exposure.
When we start headlining shows, I'm gonna get a big fucking W spotlight like the bat signal to throw on the side of the buildings. I'm serious.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Nora's good. Nora's a good singer.
Yeah, and she's a great person as well. Was really
Yeah.
nice to chat. Really nice to chat with her, as it is always really nice to chat with you, Joseph. Thank you very much for your time, man. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. You're the best. And all the best with the release. Hit me up. I'm assuming the video comes out on the day of the release, on the 31st.
Yeah, like midnight the night before.
Okay,
So we
perfect.
did the European markets and all that.
All right. So what we'll do is we'll check it out the week after, because
I'll send it to you.
if you can send it to me in advance, we can pre-record it, and I'll promise you that we won't release it until it comes out officially.
Yeah, no, I'll send you the file.
Yeah.
Like, so you can watch it in 4K. It's pretty funny. Jake looks hilarious in the video. He's going for full cock rock fucking star vibes on it.
Hey, I think it fits him.
Yeah. That's one thing the label told us. They're like, we don't think that you guys running around with wine and your shirts open and the girls with big boobs is a good image for you guys. They wanted us to look like Motorhead with like biker jackets, and I'm like, all right, guys, we'll see you around. Enough of this shit. They're like, you guys look like a degenerate Guns N' Roses. We're like, how is this bad? How is that a bad thing?
How is wine, even though I stopped drinking in December, but how is wine, boobs, and open shirts a bad thing? How is the trifecta of these things, the Bermuda Triangle of these three things, how is this a bad thing?
I don't know. I think there was some cultural disconnect between us and the label.
I feel like some people just don't appreciate art. And I think a good nipple or a good boob, in my opinion, my humble opinion, is art.
Yeah, I mean, like just like the classics, like the classic, and this is like Europeans saying this, like they have so much fine art and
I
history.
know. Like, what do they want? Like, instead of pouring some sugar on me, pour some glucerna on me. Like, I mean, it doesn't have the same ring.
Lucerna. How many bands could dress like Metallica during the Black Album era? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I love that, but there's there's enough. It's enough.
I don't know. I think you have to. I had this conversation with my son the other day. We're checking out a band and we're talking about the image and the look. And I think the image and the look of the band is super important, but it has to be a true representation of who they
Yeah.
are. Not manufactured, but really who they are. And then their creative expression doesn't just come across in the music, but it comes across in how you look and how you represent that music that you're creating. It's this multiple layer effect that I feel it's really important. Not just dress like we want everybody else to dress like.
Yeah. What's that shirt behind you?
Which one? This one?
Eyes wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that did that artwork did our cover art.
Really?
Yeah, it's Blake Armstrong. He did In Flames as well. He did Harry Potter's movie posters and Wednesday, the TV show.
The TV show.
Yeah, yeah, that guy's great. Like he saved our ass. That's right.
Well, it is great. And I can see a little bit of a resemblance between this look and In Flames.
Yeah, yep, yep.
So
Yeah, he created that whole thing.
the story definitely checks out. All right, man. All the best. We'll be chatting soon again, I'm sure. And best of luck with the release on the 31st.
Awesome. Awesome. Take care.
Take care, man.